Okay. So, welcome aboard, everyone, and welcome to our today's talk show, Born to Speak. And I'm gonna say thank you, guys. Thank you to the audience, and also very huge shout out to our guests here who actually came here because tonight today is Friday, right? And it's something that is like it's a holiday day, and sometimes people want to rest, right? So, but then again, I think I gotta give huge shout out to the audience as well. This is Friday, right? At this time of the day, if I was not the host, I probably play some games or just having some fun. But you guys coming here, you guys are rocks because spending our time with here, we can learn something from the three of our guests here. So I mean, so why don't we just get started today, right? And let's talk about the topic. So today's topic that we want to talk in the talk show is why self-education is necessary for in today's society, right? Why self-education? This is something the question I probably wouldn't ask when I was a younger self, but I think nowadays this is such a relevant topic. But before we get started into discussing the topic, let's introduce our guests. We have three lovely guests here for us today, and let's introduce them. All which very different and distinct characteristic that is actually very unique, and they're going to present you how self-education is necessary in society. So why not get started, right? So Afiq, why not you introduce yourself? Give us a bit of your name, maybe your signature name, where your courses from, and just tell a bit of yourself. So yeah, Afiq, take it away.
Hi, okay. My name is Afiq Rifkal. I am 19 years old. I am from FTMK. I'm in software development and I have severe social anxiety. So, coming here for a talk show is extremely terrifying for me because, again, anxiety, right? But I will
Mm,
try my best
mm,
to relay the information that I know. Okay, that's all for me. Thank
mm.
you.
Wow. I mean, gotta give you shout out to you, Afiq. Being here, I mean, sure, you're having anxiety, but coming here in the live stream that in front of audience, I mean, it's not like in a face to face public speaking style, but I think this is similar vibe, and I think gotta give huge shout out to that. So yeah, Dida, why not she up next? Take it away, Dida.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Khalida Khalisha binti Khalid, and I prefer being called Khalida or Dida for short. Like Afiq, I'm actually from the same course as him. I'm from the
Oh,
Faculty of Information
wow,
Communication
okay.
and Technology. Yeah, we are in the same course, software development,
Wow.
and like Afiq, I am also
Mhm.
19 years old, and I think that
Okay.
is all from me. Thank you, Brian.
Okay, thank you so much, Dida, for wow, a very small world actually, right? Both are in the same courses, but the chance of that, there's like 1,000 to the like 10,000 of students here, and they're all in the same courses. That's a very nice coincidence. So, I mean, let's just get into our last guesses here, and I think it's something that people might wanted to sort of get to know each other, get to know him better because I feel like it's something that you shouldn't be, look away from. So, Hakim, you're up next. Take it away.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning. My name is Muhammad Zaki bin Mashkawi. I'm 22 years old and currently in Faculty of Technology, Electrical and Electronic Engineering. So this is my first time for the live stream. So be my guest for this one. Okay, thank you.
Wow, 22 years old. Okay, that's a kind of a huge age difference, and I think that's sort of really showcase his wisdom later on in the talk show. But I think we already know three of our guests here: Dida, Afiq, and Hakim. And let's get on with the show. Let's get on with the topic: why self-education is necessary in society today. So tell me about it, Hakim. Like, how far do you agree with the statement of self-education? Is it necessary, or is it just like, I don't know, just some random person, some random intellectual saying something random, or is it something that is very necessary? Self-education. So yeah, Hakim, how far do you agree with that statement?
Well, thank you for that, Farhan. Now, for the self-education in society is quite important because nowadays, thanks to the COVID-19 and then other issues that currently happen, people are trying to learn something new. So therefore, yes, for me that you must learn by yourself by having something new for you to learn, and then it's give you more opportunity and give you more chances to think outside the box. Well, that's if okay. Well,
So
that's it. I can say that.
that's it, right?
Ah.
Okay, that's actually really interesting point of view because I mean, well, I think knowledge itself is very relevant throughout all our times here, from the Middle Age to whatever, like nowadays. But I think in COVID-19, it's become much more relevant, right? Because I mean, you're stuck indoor, and sometimes you are quarantined by your own self. And what better time to spend than learning something new? I think that sort of can spark creativity and spark interest within us, and maybe we learn something new and be more productive. So that's a very interesting point already. So yeah, Dida, what about yourself? How far do you agree with the statement that why self-education is necessary in society? So yeah, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Farhan. So, with the said statement, is self-education is necessary to society. For me, I am in between. I could disagree and I could disagree. Hear me out. Okay, why? I
I'm
agree
all ears.
because I agree because being self-educated is very helpful sometimes, and you can actually become more resourceful. You obtain new knowledge that you don't really find in academic books in your schools or in your college. So I think it is a good thing. But on the other hand, I could disagree because due to the education system that we are having nowadays, because today students need to obey the format that our education system has laid out to them, and it is very hard for them to think outside of the box or use their own ideas or their own formulas. On the other hand, as well, some information that you can find all by yourself could be misleading, and it could actually become very bad for students nowadays, especially.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of true in a sense. Like, think about it. Like just during COVID-19 alone, how many conspiracy theories that we have heard, who's like spewing out nonsensical thing and just misleading a lot of people nowadays, right? Like now, like even in America, people are sort of mistrusting the public health already, right? They're saying that they are just an elite who are trying to take over the world and all that nonsense thing. When just in fact they just wanted to cure this virus, right? To cure this disease that actually infecting a lot of us, right? And I think that sort of make a fair point in the sense that it is necessary, but it needs to be, be conscious about it and being maintained. And overall, just, finding the good spot, like the best of both worlds of the idea of self-education. So I think very interesting, very sort of non-biased sort of outlook on how self-education should be. So yeah, I mean, Afid, tell me a bit about it. Like, how far do you agree with the statement of self-education is necessary? So yeah, Afid.
So, personally, for me, I think everyone in this world has their own limits of what they can do with other people's help. So, like, if your teacher can teach you for like what 5 hours, doesn't mean you understand all the 5 hours yourself, right? So you might have the
True.
self-education is where that comes in. So like when you hit a wall with how much people's help can help you, you can break through it by like putting in your own effort. So although as Dida said, like it might give you some like false information and like it might lead to bad scenarios. I think even from then you can learn from your own mistakes. And making mistakes in its own way is self-education, right? So personally, I think self-education is something that we do inherently, even without noticing, and it is very, very vital in today's society.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you more as well. Well, I mean, I think Dida and what Afid said is, I mean, we can argue with that, but I do think the idea of we can learn more, right? And we can learn more, and just being able to learn it is just a human essence in of itself. And while it obviously sure that we are not being scrutinized by misleading information, but I mean, it is a learning opportunity, right? Even if the result is not what you wanted, sort of the effort, right? The effort, it can teach you a bit of how to practice learning yourself. And I think it's very necessary, while obviously we also want to avoid the misinformation and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think very interesting topic already. Very interesting like point of view between all of you guys already. And I'm very excited now because only just the introductory title, and we have already 3 billion minds here with me. So yeah, but we have think about it, right? I mean, knowledge is how many knowledge in this world already? Billions, billions. I can't even count it. It's so much that is my brain cannot keep up how much actually total knowledge that we can learn. We have like making videos, drawing, writing, all that kind of stuff is very useful. What about you guys? Sort of topic that you want to focus on, like, so what kind of topic that you want to share with the audience here, and sort of explain the sort of narrative that you are going through. Just explain sort of your topic that you wanted to share. So yeah, Hakim, tell me a bit about yourself, like about the topic that you wanted to share. So yeah, Hakim, what about it?
Okay, thank you. But the thing that I love so much that the topic will be the history itself. Now, first of all, people
Ooh.
nowadays they're not that interested in history because it's in the past, right? It's in the past.
Yeah.
There's people trying to say, that thing is at the back. We should move forward. But unfortunately, the past is what determines now and possibly the future. So that's why when I say that I agree about updating to self-educate also, and for me it would be the history because history you learn many stuff. You learn much more than what you learn from the books. Even you can open the videos, video games. You can find documentaries about it.
Yeah.
Possibly you might find the conflicting ideas of ideologies between the A sides and the B sides. Okay, now then history shows many things for us to know. It gave us many possibilities in our own assessment. We just took them for examples. We took them as a guideline for us to make sure that things in the past may or may not happen in the future should we take some precautions. That's why history gave us many ideas that we can share with each other. History defines which side, right or wrong, depends on our own perspective. On the other hand, history also shows us, well, you cannot show yourself that you are the strongest one, or nor you're going to be the weakest one, because when you learn more about that, you learn to understand people more, right? When you understand people, you're trying to learn about them, you're trying to learn about the culture, history of them primarily, then how they interact with each other, how they look at each other, about their perspective, ideologies, things that make us different yet inspire us as each other. That's why I choose this one, the history one, as my passion for this topic, which to self-educate is necessary for this kind of society, for us and the others. Well, that's it right now.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, let's just think about it. How many people are actually learning history as of right now? Like, I don't learn history. Like, for me, I don't have interest in it. Let alone someone who is actually passionate about talking about it. Now, that's like 1 in million person. So, I mean, that's already a very unique experience that I going to felt. And sometimes I just kind of wish that I am the audience itself, because I feel like, maybe we can learn some more from Hakim point of view, because I mean, history, right? Not a lot of people talk about it. And it's just a shame, I think, because I mean, we might can know something even better, just like what Hakim said, right? We can understand more, and we can, find a clearer view of how we want to perceive the future or even the present now. So, I mean, it's just interesting, right? History, something that no one's really care about sometimes, but hey, it's happened, right? I mean, like, pandemics happened in the past, in the Middle Ages in Europe, and it happened now. And the action that we do are still the same, right? We are still fearing it. We are still doing this exact same thing as what Middle Ages European do. So I feel like that's something that is a very human, right? That's sort of very funny outlook. Because like we have never changed. We are just human. We are sort of like a like a dumb human who are doing the same thing over and over and over again. So yeah, great stuff out there, Hakim. And we might have a bit of our own talk show with Hakim next time, hopefully. So yeah, I mean, Dida, let's move on to you now. So what about the topic that you wanted to discuss, right? Sort of like the story, I guess, the background of the topic that you want to discuss. So yeah, Dida, take it away.
Thank you, Farhan. Well, as for me, in my point of view of self education, I would say physical activities or skills. You can take, for example, like learning how to play new musical instruments or learn how to master new type of sports or games. Well, in my case, I love rollerblading. And I started since
Oh,
the age of 9. Yeah, it was such a young age for a little girl like me to
mm.
learn such sports. Plus, rollerblading is not that popular as it used to be in the 90s, in the 80s. Now, not many people are very, open to the rollerblading sports. And I have learned a lot of skills from my own mom. She used to play rollerblade in her young age, and for me, I get pretty jealous with a lot of people who have their own personal trainers, their own coaches who train them in any kind of sports whatsoever. But for me, it's actually a lot of money spending. It's very, very expensive to hire someone who could teach you those stuff. And if you actually self-educating as uh, as in rollerblading, you actually learn so much more about yourself. You know where your flaws is, how do you do the skills. Yeah, I think for me, physical activities lah, skills. Yeah.
Wow, okay. I mean, I think while physical activity is more common, I guess, when people are talking about skill, but rollerblading, man, I mean, I've never heard of people sort of proclaiming themselves that really good at rollerblading. So, I mean, that's a really interesting point of view already. Like
Thank
people when they
you.
say like physical activities, they say like, oh, I like to play football, right? I want to play badminton. All those like the most basic physical activities that I wish. I mean, I'm not going to give it. No, it's still really good. I just wish I can be more sportsman as a lot of people are. But I think rollerblading is something that if you're not living it, like we probably wouldn't even be doing it. So yeah, I mean, very interesting sort of subversive point of view of physical activities. Of like, it's a very underground sort of sport in a sense, very obscure. So very interesting ideas already. And yeah, let's move on to Afi. Afi, tell me about it. What kind of topic that you sort of wanted to focus on today's talk show? So yeah, Afi.
Okay, so I might be like a bit self-hypocritical being on this talk show talking about self-education when I myself rarely ever self-educate. But there's that like it rarely, but it has happened. So on the like a few things that I self-educated on is mainly coding. I found out about coding during computer science in my foundation, and like when I started doing it, I was like, holy, like this is really good. This is a really fun thing to do. Like you type in words and then an output comes out, right? Like it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
like magic, but science. So I was very interested and invested in it. So I put in more and more time. So I guess for coding, it's a lot more research. Like you're looking up problems, how to solve them, puzzles and whatnot.
Yeah,
You download apps
true,
and
true.
guides. You look through videos and like explaining to you how to use these different concepts and everything. And I think like all this information, like although it's not like physical skill like Dida's or like historical knowledge that could potentially predict the future like Hakim's, right? I feel like it has its own like touch of nuanced thinking that you can add to your daily lives.
Mm. I mean, I gotta be honest there. I gotta be a bit biased, man. I'm a programmer as well. So when I feel talk about programming in that sense, I feel like it's very relatable, like very close to my heart because I mean I kind of enjoy programming in the sense. Well, I think Hakim history point of view is probably the most wowy one. But I gotta give it up to my boy Afi here for actually sharing the knowledge of programming of why is it so fun, cool sometimes. So yeah, I mean I'm very excited here. And I cannot wait for the next topic that we want to talk about is benefit, right? Sort of what do you gain from it? Because as I said before, there's like a millions of knowledge worldwide. Maybe each of them have certain benefit that we can gain from it, right? If we learn how to do public speaking, we can be able to talk better and present our idea better. But why specifically these three topics in each of you, right? Sort of why is it computer programming? Why is it rollerblading? Why is it history? And for me, I just wanted to know what kind of benefit that you get from all this topic. That something that's like something like public speaking in a sense doesn't really give to you, right? So yeah, share it with us. So I mean, Dida, why not we start with you? What's the benefit that you gain from like learning sport is rollerblading, which is very obscure. It's not. I don't think it's necessarily profitable. So I mean, share with us, right? What kind of benefit that you gain from rollerblading? So yeah.
Thank you, Farhan. Well, the most cliche answer I could give to you, of course, it is good for your health because you're exercising your muscles, your bones, and stuff. But as for me, learning rollerblading actually shows a lot from yourself. And apart from it, you can actually become influential towards younger kids. Especially in my area, there are not a lot of people who plays rollerblade, who rollerblades around the area that I'm living in. And when I'm going to the park, there are always kids that will come up with questions to me. Like they will ask, "Hey, when did you start learning to play this? How many years does it take for you to get this good?" And actually, I feel I have set an example to those children that it is good to try out new things. It is very good to not holding yourself back from trying stuff that is actually beneficial. From rollerblading, you can actually learn a lot. What do you have? What flaws do you have upon yourself? And I think the benefits from learning rollerblade is primarily it could become influential to younger kids. They are open to new and very what do you say it? Like it's something that you not always hear of. You always hear of football, badminton, takraw and stuff, but rollerblading, wow, you can actually do so much more. You can dance, you can join in international competitions, and of course, cliche, it is very good for your health. Okay, I think that is all for me. Thank you, Fran.
Okay, that's a very nice sort of just presented what's the benefit that we get. Sure is I think we can share the similar trait as a lot of sports, but I mean it's I think that's not necessarily sort of jab into the rollerblading as a whole, but just how important sports are in learning it, right? It's showcasing how important sports are. But before we get on into Afik's point of view, right? Let's look at the comments here and say like the comments that Noor Baiduri, our madam, have sent is the fact that say that, but I guess not all students have the drive to navigate their own learning experience online. Many resort to playing video games. So how to find the drive sometimes? So yeah. So Dida, it is in
Yes.
your sense, right? Like rollerblading can be fun, sure, right? But why not just play video games sometimes? Why not just spend our time play video games and just have some fun rather than I don't know learning rollerblading? So yeah, give a bit of your insight a bit.
Okay, thank you, Farhan. For myself, I'm actually very open-minded, and there is never set of rules to a person whether he or she can like or favor anything in her life or their life. Sorry, they are able to explore a lot of new things. Not just
Mhm.
physical activities like all the sports that I have mentioned. They could also improve their skills on video gaming, like you mentioned just now. And video gaming is
Oh,
quite good,
okay.
right? Yeah, there are
Okay.
international competitions out there, and it could be very beneficial for kids of today. There
Mm,
are game developers that are
mm.
growing so vast in this time, right? So not
Yeah,
just
that's
in
right.
these cliche sports or these common
Uh,
sports, they can actually contribute themselves in esports, right? Yeah, it has become a very widely topic nowadays. Now that we are evolving into paperless generation, we are all about this technology, about this developments, that's all from me. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Like, I'm actually very happy when Dida said that. Like, games not that bad. Which is kind of
Yeah.
true. Right? I guess we have to understand. As well like what Dida have said before, right? We need to be able to tone down sometimes. Just don't play it too much, right? Play it
Yeah.
for maybe fun, and maybe we can learn something from it. But don't play it as just that's what your whole entire life is. Which I think in a sense that's kind of me in a sense. So that's kind of like bit effort, but I think that's kind of true. Like you can have fun,
Yeah.
but don't be too addicted to it where it just become your entire life.
Yes,
So
I might add. Sorry, I might
yeah,
add.
it's okay, it's
It's
okay.
not. It's actually very good to improve your strategical thinking. When you're playing games, you're using your minds how to solve the maps, the puzzle, the levels. So I think it's just about the same when you are improving yourself in sports. Yeah, gaming is also good, man.
Okay.
Proud,
Thank you so
bro.
much. Thank you so much, Dida. Thank you so much. Proud to you, Dida, as well. Yes. I feel like just my whole life is justified, right? Like no, I'm not necessarily wasting my time sometimes, that I'm doing something for good. So just like yes, yes, yes. But back to the topic, right? Afiq,
Yeah.
your computer programming, like coding and all that kind of stuff, which is very interesting. What kind of benefit that you gain? Because I wouldn't say it's the most obvious result, I guess. Because when people think of if we like coding is something is sort of happening in the background itself. No one really cares sometimes until the coding itself actually broken, isn't it? Like no one care about when YouTube suddenly shuts down until the moment it is shut down. So that's kind of the aspect. Like it's not something that's very obvious. So tell me about it. What kind of benefit do you get from doing computer programming science? So yeah, Afiq.
So it's a bit weird, I would say, because it's not directly related to computer programming per se, right? But for me, majority of my life, I've been very talentless. I've been extremely average at most things, right? So nothing
Same,
really
bro.
stood out about me. But like when I took that coding class, right, that first day, I was like, wait, this is not that hard. But it seems like everyone else was somewhat struggling with it. So I thought, hey, maybe I could pursue this. So as I kept on learning and learning and like self-educating even more, I gained even more confidence. And like from that
Mm.
confidence, like I could build myself as a person up more, right? Like I can like
Mhm.
maybe appear in a podcast, talk about self-educating or something. I can like, do more things. I can like
Yeah,
put more effort into things. So like the
yeah,
confidence that you get from like your self-education really pushes you to improve yourself better in every other way, right? So let's say like
yeah,
I do more coding work, but then I feel like, you know what, I have more energy today because I feel like a good person today. So I'll like help people out. I like study even more different
mm.
subjects or something like that.
Wow.
It
Yeah,
like improves like it like the small improvement can like improve all around, like a whole as a
yeah.
whole. Yeah.
That's kind of true. Just like if you think about it, like if you want to become like doctors, you don't learn just doctor stuff, right? Sure, that's necessarily very useful, right? You learn all about biological compartment or and whatever. But if you not be able to share your idea, present your idea, people not going to care, right? And that's what happened with COVID as well, right? Wow, very relatable because we have a lot of these crazy person who talking nonsensical stuff, and the doctors being because they don't really know how to present themselves. Like, no, you are wrong. You should go and look up the most valid sources, and it just keep happening nowadays. And it sometimes just frustrated us, and but I think that sort of makes sense. Like, sure, in Afi's case, computer programming might be the most focus he want to put on. But I think it's also said it that be jack of all trade in a sense. Like, learn a lot of things because you never know when that simple little thing can help shape your life to be a better future. So very interesting ideas already, and very excited. But yeah, let's go to Hakim. Tell me a bit about it, right? Because it's history, right? History. I think no one's really know how to sort of see themselves or just what's the benefit of it, right? What can you gain from it? Because when people talk about history, it's like, oh, it's boring. It's just an event. Oh, it's boring because it's on the past. We living in the present, man. We shape our own destiny. And that's sort of the idea. I mean, that's sort of the young mentality like mine. Having the idea is like, no, I am the leader of today's. So yeah, tell me about it. Why history are beneficial to you and to just everyone in general? So tell me about it, Hakim.
Okay, thank you. Now, when people think that they are, well, the king of their own present, right? Actually, the past shows the errors of the ways. So the benefits of us learning history is actually that not just give us that we learn something new, we became more open-minded, but just we told actually history gave us new choices. For us humans, we are actually created to have our own choice. We choose our own destiny. Either you want to go to the right or you want to go to the left. So that's why when you try to learn history, things are quite messy. Things are quite messed up. There are history about people doing this stuff, doing bad stuff. Some are doing the good stuff. We trying by learning history, it gives us the choice to choose what's right and what's wrong. Generally, in this world, it's hard for you to say they are the black and the whites. Mostly, you're going to stuck in the gray side of the spectrum. You always stand on the. You don't show yourself, even though you think yourself stand on the top of the mountain. You are on the top of the world, but unfortunately, in the end, you are going to had that one moment where you have to choose your own road. You just possibly you might standing on the fence right now, and you are leaning either the front or the back. You have no idea. You just you stand there. You just think either I want to jump, thinking that well take a leap of faith, or you learn about the past and then you choose. When I choose this, what's going to happen? What's the best example of that going to happen to you? When people so when they talk about history, people tends not just about the stories, about the characters, but actually we also want to know about the results. That is the best thing. When you see the results, people either are going to argue the strong points and the weaker points. That's when you're trying to learn more about it. Why people choosing, let's say people they have A, B's, and C's. So now when the choice are given, the people give the answer A. Thing is, why A? Why not B? Why not C? We learn. So from there we learn much about it. If this is A, the result is something something, right? And then B, the result might be the opposite. The C maybe or maybe not just stays the same. So that's why for me to learn history is actually for us and myself to know that which course of action that we want to do is actually beneficial for us or not. Well, that's it. I can share about it. Now,
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's what I think that's such a true aspect of history in a sense. Because when people talk about history, they talk about just characters and events. I mean, why I think that's necessarily important. I think that's avoiding the sort of the core essence of history. It's like you can learn some stuff from it, right? The fall of kingdom, the Black Death, which happened to kill almost a lot of Europeans at that time, and we can learn something from it, right? Of like how they act in the sense of like, I mean, you have a lot of terrible event like the Salem witch trial, which happened to kill a lot of women just because of fears. And I think that's something that we can learn something from it and sort of saying that, people of the past already repeated it and look at the factors, right? It can happen again. And I think just sort of we can sort of predicting our future by looking at the past. That's very poetic sense, and I really like that because I mean, no one's really would like to talk about history sometimes, you know, and it's a shame. People just like to talk about TikTok and whatever, you know. Where's the history, man? Where's the history? That can be fun as well. There's a lot of game with a history, you know, showcasing history. You know, it can be fun. So yeah, really liking your idea, Hakim. Really like how you wanted to sort of push the idea of history is very important to educating ourselves, and it's very necessary in all of us because it can bring a lot of good things in our society. So I mean, I'm very excited here, you know, and I'm very happy that we can have this sort of discussion together with all you guys. But you know, let's talk about it. Let's sort of move around from just the essence of the topic itself, but sort of saying how to do it. I feel like a lot of people, a lot of like motivational speeches forget this sort of procedure where how to do it, right? How to actually learn the skill, not in just like learning in just like the most crunch your way, doing all the times, like spending a lot of time, but just like how to find a way for you to strategize yourself to not to also learn something from it, but also to having fun that topic as well. Like I would say history can be fun as well, and that can lead you to do more productive effort to learn it, right? And tell me a bit about it. Like, how do you strategize yourself with each very distinctive topic, right? So like, how do you strategize yourself to be more? Maybe not, maybe you guys not necessarily professional at that topic, but just like how to get there, right? From zero into a competent level, and tell me about it. So yeah, Afi, tell me like, how do you strategize yourself? How do you find the motivation within deep yourself? Because self-educating doesn't bring out a lot of motivation sometimes. So yeah, Afi.
So this is good because our madam actually asked a question about this quite early on. Okay, so personally for me, it is actually very hard to motivate yourself to learn anything yourself because like if no one's forcing you to do it, why should you do it, right? But like I think it's important to find your own passion and your own motivation. But something very central to me, I believe, is the right support. Support, I mean, not people teaching you, but people around you, your like support system. They're like people like, who can praise you and affirm you. Like when you're doing good, it's like, oh no, you're doing pretty good, I can see improvements in your work. Or if you're doing bad, they can say, oh, it's okay, you keep it up, you'll get better. Like when I was doing coding, right, and I did well, my classmates will all be very impressed. They're like, oh my god, this guy's actually pretty good, can you teach me how to do it? And I'll be like, yeah, sure, yeah, I can teach you. And if I were to ever fail, they'd be like, oh, it's okay, you got all those other things right. Like this is a support system can go a long way because let's say someone else, right, they start doing something. Let's say you try to pick up learning guitar or whatnot, and then you are not very efficient at it. But no one tells you that. No one's there to support you, no one's there to tell you like to do your best. And since you do not have that support system, you do not get the passion for it, you don't get the motivation for it. So personally for me, I think a very important driving force is having good people around you to like help you motivate yourself even more.
Okay, I mean, it's a very sort of nice way to put it. Just the fact that, sure, you are self-educating yourself, where the main important that you learn something from it, but that doesn't mean you don't have the support around it, right? Because you have to have motivation somewhere, and you cannot just fabricate it from yourself sometimes. So you need other people, and just okay, sorry. But just the idea of supporting these people who are trying their best, I can relate to that because, well, Afid, we are housemate, right? And you sort of teaching me as well, and sometimes I praise you a bit because you're actually a pretty good coder, right? And hey, maybe you can teach me some of the time as well. But I think that's what sort of idea of like motivation, right? Motivation pushing people further and further. And I think look at Afid, right? Just a bit of motivation, and he's probably really good at coding, right? So yeah, very, very happy to see that, and very excited to see your progress, Afiq. So yeah, I mean, Dida, what about you? What about how do you strategize yourself? Because learning rollerblading isn't something that I say like very easy, obviously, but also not very in the sense of Afiq, right? can have a lot of motivation coming for you. So yeah, I mean, tell me about your strategizing the way of you to learn. So yeah, Dida.
Okay, thank you, Paan. Well, I would take this from my experience. Okay, um, trying to improve myself in rollerblading is very hard. I could say that. Like Fig mentioned just now, you have to have a support system. And like me, I was alone. I was so alone. I only have my mom and my dad to like cheer me up. Like, yeah, you can go forward. That's good for you. But it's not enough. You want to do more. And as for me, I think one of the strategy that you can make for yourself in order to improve yourself in anything, in any method at all, is to have a clear mindset. You have to have a positive mindset inside yourself. When you fall, you cannot just say, you're so bad at this. You keep falling. You will
Yeah.
never get better at this. And that is actually very, very stressful. We all have that moments when we just stuck in that really dark zone. And as personally as for me, I really had that moments. Because I am a cheerful person. And throughout my journey to improve myself, well, I used to have a sort of level, like when you're playing games, you have this level 1 is easy, level 2, and then level 3 becomes moderate and more complicated, right? So during my journey, I always think of the first skills to the more complicated skills are like levels. So okay, level 1, let's move forward, and level 2, let's go backwards, right? So take it as a challenge. You have to have a very good and strong mindset. You're like, this is tough, but hey, I can do it. And another thing that you can do, you could actually like do side notes from what you have done for the day. Like day 1, trying to move forward. Okay, I suck at this. I should like put my feet like this, like, and you have your own ways, your own flaws, right? So
Yeah.
you're making notes about yourself. So as day goes by, you're not doing this every day. You could pick like a day from the weekend, like on Sunday evening. Just go outside and have the fresh breeze just pushing all over your face. And when you do it accordingly, you're improving yourself day by day. You're checking all the history that you have made. You're like, oh, I'm actually quite improving myself. And yeah, for someone who doesn't have support system, like Afiq just mentioned just now, it's really hard. So you only have yourself. You have to have that really strong motivation in order to keep yourself going, doing what you love. Although it is very rare for a person like me, for a girl especially like me, to do such extreme sports, you might say, it does not stop me, because I shout to my inner self, it's okay, it's fine. You can have your bad days, but it's not always raining, right? There will always be sunny days. There are always rainbow after the rain. And yeah, you just need to have a strong mindset. That is from me. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, it's sort of like too close to home, I mean,
Yeah.
Afi, you have already teach me how to play guitar. Remember back in the house back then?
So yeah, yeah.
And yeah,
Aww.
that's like the honeymoon period, honeymoon phases where like, wow, I'm really wanted to actually learn it, right? But after like 1 month or something like that, I'm just like, well, it's not that fun anymore because I don't have the mental drive to pursue it. Even though Afi, yeah, a really good as guitarist, actually doing it, I just sometimes it's a bit of shame that I'm not necessarily learning what he can. So I mean, yeah, I mean that's a bit too close to home for me in the sense of I tried to learn a lot, but ended up failing a lot as well. And I'm just like, I know, ah, maybe I need something to improve on that. But yeah, I mean, Hakim, what about you? How do you strategize learning about it? How do you strategize, especially learning history? Because I feel like history is just a very gray map. It's like where to start. And people will say, I don't know, maybe I don't know. So yeah, Akim, tell me about it. How do you strategize learning history? Something that is really as vague as anything is, right? So yeah, tell me about it, Hakim.
Okay. Where to start? Things is, well, for me actually, the things that push me forward in learning is actually playing video games. Bear with me for a while. Okay, now when people play games, they always think about pushing forward, right? For me, actually, video games, they are the stories, the storylines in the game. That's what make me interested. Now, from those storylines, you will learn more about the character, their interaction, their actions. Then from there, might throughout the games you play, you might think what's going to happen next. That's how you want to think about history that I like. Now, let me share something. That's one of our viewers that asked about the. He want to ask about the. Let's talk about Witch of Salem. Now, Witch of, okay.
Okay.
Maybe I can share a bit. Now, the Witch of Salem is possibly one of the best things that I can share about because it's quite connected with what I learn and love about history.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, Witch of Salem has actually started in Salem, Pennsylvania, where the early days of the U.S. colonial, before they even call themselves United States, they are just the British colonials. Now, the story, I just don't have to share much about it. But first thing first, why people call her the Witch of Salem? Now, we need to look at what's currently happened during that time. First of all, is the age of exploration. In the age of exploration, people want to learn more. They want to travel more. They want to take something more. In that kind of era, people trying to make some themselves new. Now, about the Witch of Salem, the place itself, Salem, is the colony that made up of the British and the Dutch explorers. They are the one that learned. Now, when I trying to say that, why I'm telling you about this, because it's connected to many things. Witch of Salem is actually the very dark point of history in the US. Till this day, people hardly can share about it. At the same time, they know much about the Witch of Salem. It's the true tragedy of the United States itself. One, people are ignorant. People doesn't learn what they want to know. They don't know how to farm in the new world. The United States before that, they call themselves the new world because they travel there. Now, with that, when people are ignorant, they tend to blame the unknown. That's why I said, when you learn history, you become open-minded, right? But in this case, for the people of Salem, because of they are ignorant, they left the main things about being a human. You learn. Unfortunately for them, they did not learn. They start to prosecute people based on their own belief, because primarily they are Christians. Well, Christian that era is quite, I'm sorry to say, but they are quite chaotic because of the because there are problems within the Christians themselves during that era, because they travel to the new world, they are make their own doctrines, so there are a bit of conflict. So that's where you learn about it. But then the sad part is, when you become too ignorant, in the end you aim at the very person that you should not aim. In this case, the Witch of Salem itself, herself, is a child. That's the problem. When people, one of the version maybe said it's an adult woman, but another one, it's kind of bit of dark, because even the Americans are not gonna be happy when there's on folklore involve themselves in, well, let's just say, executing someone that can be considered minor. So that's why you need to know that when we learn history, we don't want that to happen. Because when we go ignorant, we just want to left each other, their own interest, their own history, their own story. Yes. And unfortunately, that things links back right to us. When people don't relate that things to our own life right now, things might get bad, very bad. That's why for me, not just learn about playing video games, because that's quite common, but also make myself interested that you must know that history is not pretty. Well, that's all I can say.
Wow. I mean,
That was
come
deep.
on. That was amazing. I mean, who's talked about celeb witch trial nowadays sometimes? I barely even heard people talk about it. And I mean, to be honest, right? I mean, the how do I learn about Salem witch trial in general is through game as well. There's this one game called Town of Salem. If you guys haven't played it, I don't know if it's still available yet, but it's sort of that kind of game where it's sort of betrayal and sort of not trusting each other, right? Well, I think it's not necessarily close to history itself, but I think it's the where I started, right? I think what
Mhm.
Hakim said is kind of nice. Of like, it's not about learning all, right? It's not about learning history, but picking out which one you are interested the most. Like they have like you have like World War II, the most general one. But you have like American Civil War. You have a lot of European War. All of this really cool history that you can just try to look at it and read it, and even doesn't matter even matter if you actually know the location, know the event, but you know just be able to find the moral within it. I think that's pretty nice, because I think that's what people are misleading about. They think about history as just memorizing skill, but it's more about learning something, right? So like, wow, that's what happened, right? That's what happened because of this factor, and I mean, just amazing stuff. And I just really enjoy you guys' company here, and just you guys are presenting your ideas sort of made me feel like maybe I should learn more. Maybe I should be more, try to learn more about history. Maybe learn about physical activities, and also try to be more proficient at coding. So yeah, I mean that's sort of just give me a more huge motivation for me to actually try. So yeah, I mean that's what can I say? I'm just like very speechless because it's so amazing to see you guys here, presenting your idea. And yeah, I think that's about all that we can sort of forces ourselves out, extracting all the information at this given time. And I think we can sort of put it in the like a note, right? It's like that's sort of the conclusion of like self-education is very necessary to all of us, and there's a lot of way to see it, and there's a lot of way to strategize of it. And I mean, overall, it's very necessary. I don't think you guys will disagree with it, right? So while I think the audience probably learn a lot more, and you can learn more about it. So I mean, I just don't know, man. I'm just a bit of speechless, a bit of like the frenzy joy. So I mean, I think we can sort of put it at that, and whatever you learn, and I mean, just to be reminder, this is just a first episode of Born to Speak. You have a lot more episodes. Yeah, we have episode 2, episode 3. We are pumping here like a machine here. We are working overtime maybe, and hope you guys actually enjoy tonight talk show, and hoping that you also enjoy the another talk show that we're going to continue, episode 2 next week, I think. So yeah. So any other thing that you want to do before we wrap this thing up? Want to do some Q&A or something? You guys would like to do that?
Oh yeah, sure. If we have time, that is. Like, are we allotted some time to do Q&A?
I mean, yeah, we saw it only 45 minutes, 54 minutes, sorry, 50. But like you guys, if the audience wanted to give out another Q&A, especially for Hakim, if you
Yeah.
wanted for Hakim to share a bit of historical event, we might do that. I think I will be interested in listening to whatever event that you guys are interested in. So yeah, ask the question if you wanted to. We are here.
Q&A, please.
So yeah,
Let's see.
Q&A time it is.
Okay. So, any questions?
Come on, y'all. Hit us with
Anyone?
your questions.
Or don't? Up to you.
Let's
Ask
see.
us anything, you know?
Anything, yeah.
Anything.
Anything at all. We are right here.
Yep.
Staring at each
I'm
other.
waiting for we waiting for Q&A for now. So I mean, Hakim, tell me about it, like your history knowledge, right? I just want to say, like, I mean, you're probably proficient in a lot of knowledge of history, but which one necessarily that you are more focusing on, like, sort of, which one you can say that I love this part of history? Share a bit about, like, sort of your history knowledge. What do you enjoy sometimes?
What do I enjoy? Actually I quite enjoyed in the development of mankind itself. Well, okay, let's see. Actually, the main point is it's about the wars, the conflicts, the battles. People might say they call themselves the strongest or the weakest, but actually the evolution that people want to know. Okay, now first of all, the okay, there's someone just asked. Okay,
Okay.
Hakim, where do you know all about history? About books? Actually, I'm not much about the books. I only have about 4 or 5 history books. But actually, I learn more in the internet. More likely, I actually share my knowledge with obviously. Well, I use Facebook, I use Twitter, so I got opportunity to learn more about the people that live in certain countries. That's why this kind of ideas give me more just widen my own approach in many things. That's one. Okay.
Who wants to answer
Okay,
this?
who want to start with this? Who want to start with it? Afiq, will you want to ask to
Okay.
answer this question?
Okay, sure. So if I met my younger self, right? Okay, I assume when he says old, like old as in like past me, right? Like a younger me, not like older
probably
me, right?
so.
Yeah, yeah. So if I met like my younger self, the advice I would give myself is mainly like the world is absolutely terrifying, and people are often not gonna believe what you say because you're just a little kid, right? Like, oh my god, he's
Yeah.
complaining about UPSR. What a little kid, you know? It's just an exam. Just do it.
Oh, little
Yeah,
kid.
just a little kid. But like, here's the thing.
Yeah.
What you have experienced in your life up to that point is as much as you can. So like, let me clarify. So for that little kid, right, like that little 12-year-old or like 15 or 18 or whatever age you are when you're experiencing something and someone tells you it gets worse, that's not comforting. So what I would tell myself is that like this is as worse as it is for you now. So it is okay to feel like sad. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to be burned out about the things you used to enjoy. But like so long as you can find it in yourself to bring it back, you know, like it's not wrong to think like, you know what, this is a lot for me to take in right now. I might need to like slow it down a bit because I might like break, right? So before you get to that point, you should always like take a break, you know, take a break to prevent breaking, you know, like yeah, that's what I would tell my younger self at least.
Okay. I mean, for me, I mean, first of all, if I met my old self, I would probably just slap him once because I feel like that's something that I wanted to do as well. But I think the second one is probably like, be you, right? Don't try to change sort of the destiny or change the fate. You are doing probably the best version of yourself, even though there's a lot of like a very cringy, terrible past that sometimes I don't want to remember. It's like no, I prefer if you don't repeat that again, but it's just like, yeah, be you. You're probably the best version of myself. So, so I think that's sort of a question that I probably will give up. So, yeah. Any question, I guess?
Dida?
So, in case of a burnout, demotivation, or sudden laziness, how to get back to a productive self? So, yeah, Dida, share a bit of
Yeah.
like, share a bit about how you want to solve this question.
Yeah, sure. Because from this question, I can actually relate a lot to myself because there are just those there are moments where you just feel down. You're like, oh, I'm not good enough to do this, to do that. I'm not good enough in this world. I'm just bad. But when you try, take some time for you to sit down and reflect. You have reached this stage, you have reached to yourself today. What have you achieved so far? It's not that great, and it's not really what do you say, remarkable. You don't have any remarkable achievements yet. You just need to think, there are many more possibilities that you can achieve in the future. I know sometimes it's really hard. Well, tell me about it. I got a foot operation because I hurt myself trying to learn to do a spin. I didn't go to school for 2 straight months while I was in my Form 4. I was preparing for SPM, tau. And I got an operation for this silly accident, trying to improve, trying to learn new skills from rollerblading. Yeah. And at that point, I felt like, oh, maybe I should stop playing rollerblade. It's not good for me. But hey, I still keep doing it. Look where I am right now. So as for yourself, just take some time and reflect. What have you achieved so far? If you haven't achieved anything remarkable yet, you still have the chance to do it, right? So why not grab it? You know, it's not good to tell yourself, hey, you're not good enough. It's not good. You have to push yourself. There's no one to do it unless it's yourself to push yourself, okay? Yeah, like the previous question, if you meet your old self, what would you tell them? It's like you telling yourself, hey, it's fine, Future is not that bad. There are many possibilities. Take the good ones, right?
Yeah. 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 I mean,
Right.
you're not wrong.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not lonely. There are more people out there are feeling bad about themselves, but they're just
Yeah.
hiding it very well. You might not really good at hiding that, but hey, you're not alone, man. You're not
Yeah.
alone. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's a very motivational sort of speech of you, Dida. You go, girl,
Yeah. Yeah, you
proving to
go.
a lot of.
I'm Joe. You're the man. Be
There
the
we go,
man,
I'm a
man.
Joe. See you, man.
My guy.
My
Boo,
man.
boo. Okay. So I guess any next question. If there's any question, and maybe we can wrap it up with
Yeah,
this
I
last
think we
question.
can
If
wrap
there's
it up.
any last question that you guys
Yeah.
wanted to ask,
Come on, last one.
make sure.
Maghrib,
Make sure
Maghrib is
it do
calling.
be good though, right? Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I watch
Yeah.
motivational show. Yeah, I
Thank
guess
you.
so.
I'll be
Okay.
10 ringgit.
We are all motivated here.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. This is just a talk show, right?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
our real stuff probably not as glamorous as that. And
Oh, yeah, definitely not. This is all like a facade. We're all acting right now.
yeah, man, tell me about it,
Oh
right?
god.
Yes, I'm definitely someone who's be proficient at my time, doing everything's right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We are
Definitely.
not necessarily a lazy person who like playing games and wasting some time. But that's
I
okay.
just took 12 hours a
This
day.
is quite
Oh my
life
Yeah.
God.
changing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not false, but it's not true either, right? It's not false that I spend all my time wasting my time, but it's not true either.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Pros and cons.
any last question for today before we
I'm
can
glad everyone
wrap
is
this
motivated.
stuff up? Yeah.
It's like all
I-
of four of us have just shot you with motivational guns. Motivation, motivation,
Yeah.
motivation.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then again, it's online learning, right? I think it's kind of
Yeah.
relatable to all of us.
Yep.
It's online learning. It's online learning give us a lot of motivation to do sometimes.
No. Oh, God, I
No.
hate online learning. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some point where
Like
like,
what's
I might mess up.
what's stopping me from just like all tabbing and just play some games, right? While like listening to
Exactly.
lectures. No, exactly, right.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
stop
I
it.
got you.
Especially like YouTube video, where it's like 40 minutes of like learning something. It's like what's stopping me? Like there's a lot of videos recommending me, and it's like all of them like more entertaining one. So yeah. So
Okay.
I mean I think that's about it, right? If there's no
Yeah.
question
Yeah.
else, then we can just wrap this stuff up. We pain tell you when you're wounded so badly, but pain tell you that you're
Yes.
not dead
That's
yet.
deep.
Yes.
That's deep, bro.
Okay.
That's
He
deep.
said the right thing.
That's deep, man. That's deep.
What? Thank you, Kid Go.
Thank you, Kid Goo.
I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. I don't know if that name is representative of you, but Kid
Yeah.
Ghoul, you are very cool.
You're the man. You're the kid,
Not
Kid Goo.
all heroes wear capes. They are goals.
Yeah. Not all
Okay.
hero wear capes. They are ghouls. So I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I think we can just wrap up our first episode of Born to Speak. Very
This
cool
is fun.
performance of all of you guys, and thank you for the audience participation. Right, this is 6:51 p.m. already in my time zone, and just like you guys are
Yeah.
you guys you guys all are spending time with us, and actually being here, right? If I was not the host, I probably just watch another YouTube video and just hey, doing my own holiday style. Like this is holiday for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So you guys
Y'all
being
so
here,
chaotic.
really cool dudes. And I just wish that we can meet each other again sometimes. I hope so. We
Yeah.
are still in the UTeM. If you meet us, hit us up. We are
Yeah.
probably friendly. We might be
See
a
what's
bit
up,
of awkward, and maybe
Yeah.
sometimes we
I might run
don't
away.
let each other come.
I might have
Yeah,
that.
we are maybe introvert a bit.
Yeah.
We can be introvert a bit, but with good intention, we can have some chat, especially with
Yeah.
Hakim. If you really want to know, if you wanted to sort of to make this sort of like history talks with Hakim, probably be really fun.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Prep pizzas and
so
stuff. It's gonna be a long night with
that,
Hakim.
Damn, bro.
yeah,
Oh, it's gonna be long.
Yeah.
Anything to share
yeah.
about?
Okay.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Has been Paan, the host, and congratulate you guys for joining us today for the first episode of Born to Speak show. Make sure you actually try to watch the second episode, third episode. We just like we say, the public speaking groups are pumping this out like a machine. Okay, we are also not just doing this for fun, but also learning. I learned that a lot of history like Salem witch trial. Hey, that's something new that I learned actually.
Yeah.
So
This is
this is
interesting.
fun. And I'm also very excited for the next episode. See who's the host, see the guests, and see what they wanted to bring on the table. So yeah, have a good day. I wanted to chill out after this, and thank you guys so much for watching. See you
Have a great
all next
weekend.
time.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
y'all.
Thank
Bye.
you. Who's ending this?